If you crack first, Dave, it won't make you any less of a man.
I'm nowhere near cracking.
Neither am I, my friend.
Dave. And oh, Matthew, what is it now? For God's sake, no one's smoking, okay? But nothing! You know what we need around here is an anti-whining ordinance. So just sip your sniveling little lip and haul your skinny ass out of here!
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. It's time to talk about that gay Superman rumor that's been going around. Apparently, Ethan Van Sciver claims that he got a scoop. Ethan's gotten some scoops in the past that have been wrong. Some of them have been right. So you have to take these things with a grain of salt and kind of think about them and look at everything. And I do want to say, if you've been coming to the channel lately and enjoying the content and you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoy everything that's going on in Thinking Critical YouTube. We'll definitely be here for the long run, talking about all the best comic book news and rumors and, movie news and rumors as well. Now, getting into gay Superman. With the more recent rumor that DC Comics was going to stop publishing it in July. I did a video on that one, and it was like, yeah, that doesn't actually make any sense. I talked to a few people, and that does not appear to be the case. So I thought I should come on here and talk about the gay Superman rumor. This one's a little bit more difficult because based on what's currently going on with DC Comics and the direction they've been going with many different characters, it's hard to outright deny this one or even say that it's not likely. I have no information. I have not been able to glean any information whether or not it's actually correct. But I do know in the next issue of Superman Son of Kal-El from Tom Taylor that Superman John Kent, if you did not know, Clark Kent is on his way to Warworld to apparently be captured by Mongrel and I guess he's going to be tortured for 100 years or something. I don't know. He's going to get murdered over and over. We've already saw that in Future State. John Kent's the new Superman on Earth. And he does meet a young man. He's a YouTuber. He's got pink hair, and they both have secret identities. And John reveals his secret identity to Jay, I think it's Nakamura. And then eventually, by the end of the episode, the end of the issue, Jay reveals himself to be the secret YouTuber named The Truth or whatever it is. He's got a mask and stuff. They don't kiss. They do not profess their love to each other. But they are certainly revealing each other to each other within the comic book. Now, is this enough to confirm the rumor that Superman will be revealed gay? No. There's no way to know just based off of that. But if you look at what's been going on with the Tom Taylor that we have now at DC Comics, I think a lot of people, if you've been reading DC, the Tom Taylor is Injustice Tom Taylor, wrote some of those Batman annuals that were really strong, and then deceased Tom Taylor. And that is the best Tom Taylor there is. That's the best version of himself as a writer, where he's actually pretty true to the characters, doing things outside of continuity and kind of exploring where the characters could go. Really good stuff. I recommend Deceased as much as anything I would recommend in modern comics within the last 3 years. It's really, really solid stuff. But there's another Tom Taylor. There's Marvel Tom Taylor, and you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about tastes like mustard and bigotry Tom Taylor. The Tom Taylor that absolutely destroyed X-Men Red, destroyed Wolverine and some other characters when he was at Marvel, and essentially, for reasons I can't figure out, got carte blanche to do whatever he wanted with the characters. For the most part at DC, it seems like he's been held in check. He's had some editorial oversight, and we've gotten pretty much the best work of his career. At least at the big two. But lately, if you've been paying attention to what he's been doing within DC Comics, now that his profile's growing, he's got this Batman the Detective story, not really doing anything out of the ordinary there. But he's also got the Nightwing series, and he's also got Superman, Son of Kal-El, the introduction of John Kent and his ascension to the Superman mantle. In the very first issue of Superman, Son of Kal-El, he reveals to Damian, they're talking about what he wants to do with his legacy and what he's going to do as being Superman. And he no longer wants to save people. He wants to fight the systems, that are hurting people. It's not about, stopping injustice and crime. It's about, fixing systems and things like that. Which, we see that that's the direction of the new Batman as well. But also in Nightwing, what we saw in the second issue was really, really strange. I'm not going to get into details, but he ends up throwing an enormous pizza party. He doesn't mind that he got robbed because the guy was homeless. It's really weird stuff. And then this last issue, I talked about it on the channel yesterday, where essentially Tom Taylor bequeaths the character of Dick Grayson $1 billion just so Tom Taylor could use the character to virtue signal and give that $1 billion away so we could tackle homelessness and a host of other problems that Tom Taylor sees in the world today. And there's no other reason for that story arc to happen. It was just so Tom Taylor could use the character as a sounding board for his own beliefs. Would Tom Taylor, with his new version of John Kent and the new Superman, as he kind of takes over the mantle, would he use that character as a sounding board or a vehicle to get over, some ideology, turn the new Superman gay? Absolutely. It falls in line with what they've been doing with DC Comics, not with just with Tom Taylor. You look with what happened with Batgirl on her last issue with Cecil Castellucci, an absolute abomination. She's out there, joining Black Lives Matter protests. You would act like she had never helped out. She acts like she's never helped anybody out in the world. And you got to see the montage. It's absolutely ridiculous and stupid, and basically discredits the character in their history. We look over what's happened with Tim Drake, breaks up with his girlfriend, decides he's bisexual now. Just out of the blue, Megan Fitzmartin did that one. We've also had Alan Scott has come out. Now, there was a version of Alan Scott on Earth 2 that was gay, but now the Alan Scott on Earth 0 is gay. And we're seeing a lot of the characters in DC Comics being used for these, like I said, just for virtue signaling purposes. We just had Bruce Wayne lose his $1 billion. It was evil that Bruce Wayne was a billionaire. It doesn't matter what he did with his money or what he did with his time or how he had tried to help people. He was evil. He should have never been a billionaire to begin with. He was a good person. He would have never had that $1 billion. And that's the way a lot of these current writers, including James Tynion, I know you love him. Sorry, he's part of the crew. And Tom Taylor and Cecil Castellucci and John Ridley and Megan Fitzmartin and likely a vast majority of the comic writers that you like today, they all feel about these things. And they want to use these characters to project these messages. So it's absolutely impossible to deny or disprove the rumor that John Kent will be coming out as gay within the new Superman series. But it's absolutely probable, and it feels like it's likely to happen. He just met a pink-haired YouTuber, and they're revealing their identities. What are they going to do? What are they going to reveal next? Hopefully on issue number 4, they're playing tummy sticks, right? That's what you can expect. And this is what DC Comics are. DC Comics are becoming what Marvel were 6-7 years ago when they were completely reviled. And everybody, essentially kind of turned their back on all the characters in the history of Marvel because of what the creators were doing with the characters. I think that was all by design, and this is certainly all by design within DC Comics. It's no coincidence this is all happening, after the arrival of Daniel Cherry III as the new general manager of DC Comics. Well, Daniel Cherry III has never been a comic book guy. He's never been a writer. Yes, but he is. He is, he's an advocate. He's someone that advocates for all these changes. He's the guy that got the Black Lives Matter little startup screen on some popular video games when he worked at Blizzard. That's who the guy is. He's somebody out there that wants to use pop culture as a mechanism to affect change, to affect the way that we see things, to affect the way that we view the world. I don't think that's what DC Comics characters are there for, but there's clearly a change going within DC Comics. So if you were not a fan of the all different era of Marvel, if you were not a fan of Marvel Legacy and some of the other things that preceded it, you're shit out of luck. That's what DC Comics is becoming quickly. I will be shocked. It's personally shocked. I have no evidence this is going to happen. I will be shocked if John Kent is not confirmed gay by the end of the year. And his first boyfriend will be Jay Nakamura. And that's just the way DC Comics is going. These characters are not meant to tell the most exciting adventure stories in the history of the world. These characters are not meant to project, their archetypes and show like a level of morality within a kind of a broken world, which they've done in the past. These characters are meant to be twisted and broken to the will of the writers and the will of the editors and the will of the executives at DC Comics, and likely Warner Media, to project messages and ideology and, quite frankly, propaganda, to virtue signal and let you know all the things that you should believe in and the way that everybody should be, right? By the time this is over, I mean, hell, it wouldn't surprise me in 5 years if every DC Comics character wasn't an LGBTQ, type character, representative, right? That's the way we're going. Don't worry. All your favorite characters are going to be race swapped very soon. Not the originals, they're just going to be replaced. We see it happening right now with Aquaman. We've seen it happening now with Batman, and it's going to happen with all the other characters, at least the main ones. And DC has tried these things in the past, but they've done them more subtly, and they've done them a little bit more spaced out. Now we're getting everything kind of converging, and it's kind of becoming a tidal wave, and it's not going to stop. So can I confirm that John Kent's Superman will be gay soon? No. Is he going to be confirmed gay in the next issue, which I've heard some people say is true? No. You could certainly see that coming. I could see it coming. And I do think that John and Jay will be, discovering each other very soon. But there's no way to confirm it yet. But this is DC Comics. If you're a DC Comics fan, and if that is not why you buy these comics, if that is not what you're looking for, it's going to become harder and harder and harder to find those stories that are going to satiate your appetite for comic book reading, because they're going to be used for virtue signaling, soundboarding. These characters are puppets, with the writers pulling the strings to let you know all the things that you should feel, all the things that you should find important, and the way that you should feel and react to the world that we're living in. And that's just, it's unfortunate, but that is the bottom line. So that is my, me talking about the rumor that Superman will be coming out as gay. I'll be shocked if it doesn't happen, but there is no way to confirm it at this point. We'll definitely be talking about it tomorrow, live on the Comics Aficionados. Definitely join us, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to have a great panel. We'll have Nerdette from Nerdette's Newsstand with us. We'll have Yul Carter from Fantastic Comics. We're going to have a couple other people. I can't remember them all right now, but we're going to have a great panel. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Jonathan Hickman leaving X-Men, Webtoon, all the big stories that came out this week. Definitely join us. I appreciate it. And like I said earlier, definitely, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe. Stick around for a while. I think you're going to like it here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.